They say the church isn't a business and that it's a whole different kind of organization. But I'd like to respond to this by claiming that the church is the best and certainly the oldest and the longest standing ever business enterprise ever in human history. And that it is in fact a corporation, because corporation of course comes from corpus, it's a body. And it's a body composed of the faithful of Jesus Christ. And it's been in existence now for 2,000 years. And there is no such other business enterprise ever. But is it right to call it business because aren't businesses meant to achieve a profit? And I'd say, well, yes. And it is a business because the church is for profits. Well, some would say, well, what kind of profit is this? It's certainly not for monetary profit. It's not all about gaining temporal resources. What is the profit about? It's about gaining souls for Christ. It's about holiness. So then some would say, well, this is intangible and you can't measure it. So it's not apt to consider this from the perspective of a business school. But I would respond also to that and say that there are methods for measuring, even though you may not be able to get at that which is most purely spiritual. There are indicators of these spiritual goods. They're indicators of holiness. One indicator, this might be too challenging for many of us, would be, well, how many canonized saints do you have from your local church? That might be one indicator. Another indicator would be, how many baptisms do you have? There's actually lots of indicators. And we could debate, and it's something very interesting to reflect upon, what are those indicators that we could measure so we can make interventions in our local church organization and then measure before and after in order to determine whether or not that intervention was effective. Wouldn't that be using the most of the talents that the Lord has given us in the church? So whereas the profit that the church aims for is not certainly filthy lucre, it is the lucrare animas Christi, to gain souls for Christ. So it's definitely for the sake of profit from that perspective.